And there's lots of people from that way, out that way, playing on the record, whether it's Adam Topol, who most people, or some people may know from Jack Johnson's band. He's the drummer from Jack Johnson's band, to a guy named Jackie Green, who's kind of this disciple of Bay Area rock and guitar playing. How did all of these players, and obviously each one has a different story, but how did they all come to be on the Chris Velan record?
I guess the easy answer is through Tim.
Right.
Because Tim is just a long-standing, well-respected musician in the area, and Tim and Jackie are best friends, and Tim has played with... Actually, Adam Topol has come up and recorded at Tim's studio before. I think they all orbit around this wonderful new studio called Mission Bells. It's nothing fancy, but it's got a great vibe to it.
Right.
And so Tim brought all these people in, and we all hit it off, and we have since, become really good friends, and I'm going to be touring with ALO in May on the East Coast and Midwest in the U.S. now. So.
Let's talk about the record, because it's a great record, and what I like about it is that it's so eclectic in its nature, and as a musician, you're fairly eclectic. Are you conscious when you're writing the songs, or even putting the songs together, of what eventually will become a track listing? Because the moods are shaped by the different sounds on the record. I mean, from one moment you're doing Oldest Trick or even Pauper in a Palace, and then it goes into some funky reggae type thing on Pauper in a Palace, or even Go Easy. So is that something you're conscious of, or is it just something that you just write great songs, or you think about writing great songs and just put them all together?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
Because I tend to just write songs often just on my guitar, so I don't really know how the production is going to end up sounding when it's all done. And so for me, it's just trying to write the best song I can.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the production will take it to another level. And then once you have all those songs produced, look at it and decide where's the flow. How do these things flow into each other? What's the best ordering? I mean, sequencing for an album, like song order, it's its own art. We probably had 6 different people come up with 6 different orders that each person was vehemently for. So it's it's one of those things. You have to see what you have.
What do you attribute? There seems to be a renaissance, probably that we haven't seen since, I want to say, the late '60s, maybe early '70s, of singer-songwriters who are making a name for themselves, mostly by touring around and mostly regionally touring in different pockets of North America, where they're just all over the place, whether it's the Portland scene or the San Francisco scene or even the New York scene now. What do you attribute that to?
It's a good question. Yeah, singer-songwriters are ubiquitous.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a complex answer. I think the way the industry's been going is partly the reason for it, because people will look at whether they want to do a career in music, how they can do it in a cost-effective way. And the tools are now out for, the marketing tools, social networking. You can do your own booking. You can be a one-man show. And so if you're someone who's interested in doing music and has something to say and you want to write songs, I think you can fall into the singer-songwriter format pretty easily. Yeah. Because you can head out on the road and you can do this with loop pedals, and you can book your way across and pay for your next recording, and you know what I mean? I think it's kind of developed that way because of the technology, in a way. Right. Back in the day, you were the band or a singer-songwriter, but you had to go through the same channels to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
Now I think the democratization of the industry favors almost individual singer-songwriters because it's that much cheaper to head out and do it. Right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally get it. And social media and the internet probably have a great deal to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. I'm pretty fascinated by it too. I ask myself the same question.
How connected are you to social media and stuff on Facebook or Twitter?
I'm pretty active.
Yeah.
And in the whole range of activity, I'm sure there are people who are way more active and people who are way less. I think I do a pretty good job. It's not my nature to be active that way.
Right.
But I've realized that there's value in it, and that if you can be active on your social media and interact with the fans and be as genuine as you can about it, it's a good thing. And I get a lot out of that too, because it can be lonely being a singer-songwriter on the road, and doing it sort of, on a bit of a shoestring. Right. And so it's really nice to connect with fans who are saying, keep doing it, love what you're hearing, come to this, come to Portland, or come to Austin, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So for me, I get a lot out of it, so I try and put a lot into it.
Because the sound is so eclectic, the obvious question is, what are some of the songwriters or musicians that influence the music that you make?
It's a pretty eclectic mix, obviously. Like from a young age, I was listening to a lot of really good roots reggae.
Right.
My uncle had a great vinyl collection. But I was also listening to a lot of punk. I was listening to a lot of new wave at the time. It was top 40 radio blues, because I was an electric guitar player. When I started playing, I was 9. Got my first electric guitar when I was 13, and was listening to a lot of Allman Brothers. I love Duane Allman. Love Mark Knopfler. He's probably my guitar god. And I really like his songwriting, too. I think he has a big influence on me. But, songwriters like Neil Young, Paul Simon, I guess I can't really pinpoint it. Beyond that, I was a creative writing major, too, so I like a lot of poetry. Frost, is I love his poetry. So I don't know. I think it comes Wallace Stevens. It comes from all kinds of different areas. But yeah, I'd say that's about it.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for 1% for the planet. Not enough people are engaged with environmental cause and helping the environment. So thanks for doing your part, and on behalf of those of us who don't do enough.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Enough, and good luck with the record.
Thanks a lot.